Rev up your race car with Two Speed Motorsports, one of our new premier partners of the Stickers and Scuffs podcast. This business is based right here in Ontario, and Two Speed Motorsports is your go-to for custom manufacturing, race car maintenance, fabrication, welding, and racing parts and maintenance. Specializing in setup and R&D, they are also the home of Raptor filters, which are specifically designed for racing. Two Speed Motorsports offers a wide range of products available, including tire carts, gear pots, body braces, jack stands, caddies, and more. Two Speed Motorsports has everything you need to keep your racing ride in top condition. Visit www.twospeedmotorsports.com for a full catalog of their high-quality products. Look to gear up for your next race in 2025. Les Entreprises MPWA Incorporated is proud to partner with our podcast once again. Run by the dedicated Mark Patrick Waugh, they specialize in high-quality racing electronics, cameras, transponders, radios, helmets, custom earplugs, Hans devices, seats, and a whole lot more. As a registered dealer, MPWA offers top-notch equipment to fuel your passion for racing. Whether you are a pure racer or a motorsport enthusiast, Les Entreprises MPWA Incorporated has everything you need to enhance your performance on the track. Visit www.lesentreprisespmwainc.com for a wide range of racing products and detailed information. Don't miss out on this opportunity to elevate your racing experience with MPWA.
Oh God, we're laughing already. What's going on, everybody? It's Graydon here. As you see, I'm riding solo. Cam is behind the scenes. We're trying some things this week, but we got a double shot of guest power. We're going back into the world of the Outlaw Midgets, and we got the Spiesz men here, Nick and Kevin. How you doing, fellas? Welcome in.
Hey, thanks for
having me. Good.
Awesome. Yeah, I have to, I know I picked that up at Sauble this weekend. I really have to address people when I'm addressing more than one in an interview here. So I'm going to try and practice that on you guys a little bit here tonight too. Boys, so let's get right into your 2024 season. Matilda Street Motorsports field 3 cars and all 3 in the top 10 in points. So maybe we'll start with Dad Kevin in P3. Give us a little rundown of your season there, Kevin.
It was a really good year. We started off strong. We maintained, I think we were in second in points all season long up till big crash at Sunset. Went to a backup car and not used to the car, so I wasn't pushing it. I just wanted to be there for points.
Yep.
And it just happened to work out that way. I lost one spot to Russ Couture, but kept him in sight, and it could have went either way. So yeah, it was a really good year. A lot of hard battles.
Yeah, and all things considered, like you said, that you were able to go to a backup car, but you had to go to a backup car just the same, which isn't ideal. And like you said, you're not really in your familiar surroundings, so that's an adjustment in itself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Nick, how about you?
I had an okay season. I mean, I started off pretty strong. I was like 17 points behind Jason Metcalf for probably the first third of the season. I was getting caught up to him. And then the one race at Sunset, my bearing on my jack shaft broke and we couldn't get it fixed in time. So that one race put me back from second to sixth. And then I was just, well, spend some time with the family and race when I can. So
kind of reassess the goals at that point, I guess, right?
Yeah, exactly. But it is what it is.
Yeah, and you got to keep it fun. And you guys had the third car with Kurt Lawton there finishing P10. So I mean, you came to the track every time out with multiple cars, and that's a big commitment and a huge support to the club, right?
Absolutely.
Oh,
yeah, we bought that car as a backup car. And then my neighbor Kurt, he helped us a lot last year. So we're like, if you want to drive it, we could fill another seat, right? Have some more numbers for the club. So he jumped aboard, and then gave up the car after my dad wrecked, and yeah, so here
That's a
we are.
teammate right there. That's for sure, right?
Absolutely.
Exactly. And he continued to come to the track and help the club out, help the team out. So it was good.
And that's what I wanted to kind of touch on after that is just when you do have those types of situations that aren't what you would call plan A, you have that club atmosphere where everybody does come to help you. I can speak to that from my first ever racing start, and everybody kind of has your back and comes to your aid when you need it, and having somebody like that in not only like next door, like but on your team is really beneficial, I would think.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
If I could jump like right to Kevin as a dad for one thing, like a family team and being able to do this with your boy, that's got to be pretty special. Um, and being so connected to the Outlaw Midgets Club as you guys are, that's it's got to be pretty special, right?
Oh, definitely. When we're racing, I'm his biggest fan
Yeah,
because there'll be times he starts behind me and he's got a rocket for a car. And
yeah,
when he goes by me, I'm like, I'm gonna follow him the best I can, but go, buddy, go, because I'm cheering for him the whole time, like, but
yeah.
I'm nervous as heck because you're watching what's going on when you're behind them.
Hmm.
And again, being a dad, you're like, okay, be careful, do this, watch for this, but you're cheering them on the whole time.
Yeah, I think that's kind of neat, and that's something that I mean, racing is obviously a family thing. So I mean, there's generations that watch or like kind of pass the torch on, but to be able to be out there at the same time with your son and racing together, I mean, that's just a whole other level.
Oh yeah, it
Yeah.
is definitely.
Um. So we're just a second. Um. There's some rumors floating around. I didn't want to break right into it right away, but the club is going through a transition, let's say, and there's been a shakeup at the top. Do any of you guys know anything about that?
No.
No. Uh,
Talk
Nick, would you know
to the other
anything
guy.
about a new club president, perhaps of the Outlaw Midgets Club?
Yeah, yeah. So last weekend we had our general meeting,
Hmm.
and it turned out that I'm the new president of the Outlaw Midgets. So
So we're breaking some news here right now. That's pretty awesome, man.
yeah,
Congratulations on that.
thank you. Yeah, it a couple months ago there was a group of drivers. We kind of got into a chat talking about what's best for the future of the club and how we
Hmm.
go forward. So after a lot of talking, we kind of all decided that I would be the best guy for the job. So moving from there, we got a great group of leadership on the board of executives. So like I'm pretty green when it comes to this type of role, but with
Hmm.
the guidance of these guys, I think we can turn this club for a good positive. So
That's awesome. And I'll flip it quickly back again. I asked you about this on the racing side. Now, how do you feel as a dad about this, Kevin?
Oh, I was all for it. I
Yeah.
I was there pushing him like you can do it. I'm here to back you. I'm only a phone call away. And with the rest of the guys on the board and the club, the guys are here to help him out. And they will guide him in the right place. And Tom, our former president, is still helping him out. He's guiding him along.
Good.
And he's already introduced them to the track owners or promoters. So it's all going good. I'm proud of him.
And yeah, I was gonna say you can root for your boy in a whole different capacity now
Oh,
too, right?
exactly. Don't mess the club up.
yeah,
Yeah.
no
That's
pressure.
awesome. So that being said, how's I'm sure there's a lot to be determined yet, but how does that affect your racing schedule, Nick? Are you going to keep at the wheel here and there, or what's your goal for 2025?
Yeah, so definitely the first couple races, I'll be stepping out of the car
Hmm.
to get my ground set up and kind of get the club going in the right direction, so we're all sorted out, and then if I feel that we'll be okay, if I can hop in the car and we can all keep everything afloat and going well, then I'll definitely hop back in. So my plan is to at least run a pretty good season with that. So
Yeah. got to get that itch scratched, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
There's a spare seat for Graydon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, maybe, eh? Bring those bad boys to the beach again. That's going to be a fun thing to see in terms of. I say the beach because I like seeing this kind of changing of the guard in terms of leadership in these positions. The younger, as I said to Nick in our chat before the show, is uh, you guys kind of have that balance between new school and the old school approaches where you can kind of see it from both sides and maybe kind of hit it right in the middle in the sweet spot where it can really be a positive impact on the series and that's across the board. And I see that with Brad in the GM position over at Sauble Speedway, and it's just kind of a refreshing thing to have happen once in a while, and every sort of thing needs that, just a fresh set of eyes and hands on, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
definitely.
Absolutely. No, I earlier this week and then actually today, I've been talking with Brad. He's a good buddy of mine, and he's been giving me some good insight and tips and tricks and stuff. So he's a great guy, and I'll be definitely looking forward to chatting with him more. So
I was going to make you guess, but I'm going to read something that as you know, I spent the weekend with Brad too, and we were texting today, and he sent me something. I'm going to read it to you. The entire Spiesz family has been dedicated to that club for a long time, and I think Nick is the right guy to lead it back to the promised land.
yeah,
So that's your buddy rooting for you right there, man. So
yeah,
that's got to, it seems like you have that kind of support rallied around you, and that's got to feel pretty good going into the off season and looking ahead.
yeah. I definitely boost the confidence, and that we're all on the same page to get this club going. So
yeah. Nice. And I'm going to tie it in because it is something that we didn't have Mikey Homewood on that long ago, actually, and it's kind of cool to circle back to the Outlaw Midgets sort of quickly after that episode. We touched on it with Mikey, and I guess it would be sort of appropriate to touch on it with you, and we talked about the crash at Sunset this year. The safety thing comes into the play, but at the same time, when we talk about the right guy for the job, you yourself were in a pretty scary wreck, and I think that also sort of factors into why you're the right guy for the job, because this sort of thing is front and center in your mind. So
yeah,
I guess my question is, like I said, you can talk about it as little or as much as you like, but how does that sort of all come together now in this new position?
Yeah. So, that wreck, it was caused, I was on the outside of a car coming into a corner, and we came into turn one, and I was above him, and he moved up the track, which snapped my my front axle. So I lost my steering going into the corner. So that turned me to go straight into the wall, almost full throttle. So yeah, I broke my back, and then I fractured two bones in my brake foot because I was pushing the brake so hard trying to get the car slowed up enough. So that was scary. I would say the worst part about the whole experience was I had a young daughter at the time. Like, she was just a baby at that point, and not being able to pick her up, that took a toll on me.
Yeah.
So, and you hear about this stuff about the cars potentially not being safe and this and that, and that's not true. The cars 100% are safe. I mean, I can't say 100%, but they are safe.
Yes.
I wouldn't have got back in one if I didn't think so. Fluke accidents do happen. But that being said, like, this year we changed some rules and added some new stuff in. And we have a group of drivers that are experienced with the cars and building them and stuff like that. That we're going to look at multiple different makes of these cars and see if we can add things into them to make them safer. So yeah, like I said, I wouldn't have got back in these cars if they weren't safe. Things happen.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we determined that kind of with Mikey too, that it was just like anything can happen in racing, and no matter, regardless of what you're driving, and it just, those perfect storms sort of happen. And like, as we've seen time and again across all sorts of disciplines, everybody can find a new way to wreck a race car, and it just, circumstances, there's so many variables happening at any given point that it just, if something goes wrong, then you can't forecast what happens there. And so what you're saying, based on what I've heard, and you're the right guy obviously to talk to about it, is that you guys are already taking avenues to make it as safe as possible. But I mean, everybody who straps a helmet on has to know there's an element of danger in it.
Absolutely. And with our cars, respect goes a long way. As you know. Like, and when I talk to rookie drivers in our club, and if they ask for advice or whatever, my main thing is hold your line when you're driving. Don't be up and down the track. We don't have mirrors. We don't have spotters. Drive your line, drive in a straight line. Don't fade up to the wall, because cars do come by you, right?
Yep.
So respect is a huge thing with open wheel, and we need to focus on that along with, other changes, right?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right in that. It's not just racing, but it's open wheel racing, which is something completely different than anything else. And it's just that it's all part of the instructional part of new people coming in. And Kevin, you're a veteran racer here. How long have you been doing this now?
If I count right, I believe I'm starting 14 years.
So you've been in this a good while, and seen a fair bit of people through the series and everything. And I want to spin that in a way that, watching a guy like Jason Metcalf, who I see as a guy in terms of the same desire as I was, like a guy that didn't necessarily think he'd ever get to race a car, and then he got into a car, and then not only shortly thereafter, then he starts winning and going after a championship. I mean, that's a good story, and it's stories like that that help a club grow. And I think that's probably a good thing to have had happen this year. So yeah, just talk about all the talent that you've raced with. I mean, there's just so many people.
Oh, I've raced with, there's been a lot of guys come in and out of the club. Mike Westwood, I mean, the guy builds cars. He races anything that's got wheels, 4, 2, it doesn't matter. Mike's going to race it, and he's going to race it hard. I was trying to think of J.R. Fitzpatrick. He's came out before and raced in them. The guy's a beast. Him and Mike would have a competition who could go through the corner flat foot. And that's at Old Barry Speedway, and they'd try to go through the corner flat foot, and it was just unbelievable. And we got, Rob McCall has been around racing since, forever. And again, all kinds of discipline. Yeah. He's been on all kinds. Snowmobile racing. He runs a 600 modified sled. I mean, a thing looks like one of our Outlaws, except it's on skis and a
it's a crazy looking thing.
Yeah. So I mean, there's been, Larry Westwood. There's Can-Am midget stuff behind all that, right? AJM started out with us and moved on to the modified. So there's been some really good talent come through.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I wanted to get at, because it was cool to hear all those names, because I will honestly tell you, I was today years old when I knew that J.R. Fitzpatrick drove one of those. So that's pretty cool. And that it speaks to kind of the allure of it. I mean, those things are blistering fast, and I don't know exactly what it was like to go really, really fast in it, but it was fun once I got out there to do it. But
they're not fast if you're all going the same direction.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not that fast. When you're going the wrong way, they're really fast.
So what's your goal for 2025 as the team principal, Kevin?
Oh, that would be Nick, but he lives on Matilda Street.
I just went for seniority. I thought it was you.
No. I think our goal is to just keep plugging away and do the best we can, show up every week, or, in Nick's case, when he's on the track, do the best you can. For myself, just be consistent. Try to build on each week. Try to keep, maintenance from week to week on these things is a big thing. So just keep it tuned up, cleaned up, touched up, whatever we need to do. Just kind of stay on it
Mhm.
and just keep it going. Try to get every race and do the best you can.
Now, actually, I wanted to just ask that. Do you guys run it all out of like one shop, or you guys you have your car at each of your places and that sort of thing?
Yeah, we both at separate shops, and
Mhm.
then my car goes up there. We do the Sauble weekends, so we're on long weekends.
Yep.
Then that I take over the shop.
Right.
Push my car in and bump him around a little bit. We work on both cars out of that shop then for the 2 different weekends. But yeah,
Nice.
we're separate.
Right on. We're getting near the end here. Before we wrap it all up, I want to each give you guys a chance to talk about your partners, and that's what it's all about around here, to make racing go around. So, who helps Matilda Street Motorsports go around?
Yeah, I'll take care of this one. I'd like to thank McKee Tirecraft. They're out of Collingwood, and they are just amazing people to deal with. Sean is just awesome. Ken Jackson Construction, they're out of Tiverton. Liuna 1059, they helped us this year. They just hopped on this year for the first time, and
Good.
we were pretty thankful for them. Who else we got? Budryer Chevrolet.
Budryer.
Yeah, they're out of Paisley. I got my wife's side hustles, Paradise Design Co. And also a huge shout out to her with her patience and support. You know, yeah, in my due diligence. Who else do we have?
Bitch and Bodies, I'll throw that one in there. Jessica James. Mm-hmm. She does a lot of stuff for me, my body, my fancy hot rod, and does some motor work for me. So I gotta thank her.
Fancy wing placement too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That was a couple years in the progress, but we did it finally.
Looks sweet too, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, on my end, I would thank my girlfriend Catherine for supporting me, being there, you know, traveling with me, doing lunches, whatnot. My daughter Laura and my son Jack, my other son, another one. And yeah, I think I have my people I work for Lazy Boy are kind of a silent partner, not so silent on the podcast because I want to throw them out there sometime. But Boomco is what they go by, but they're the Lazy Boy GTA.
Okay.
So that
nice.
I think 9 stores plus a couple here and there.
Yeah,
very good.
Also, I'd like to shout out to my 2 kids, Sam and Bella. You know, my biggest supporters, and what gets me going. You know, every now and then you feel pretty down and out after a rough weekend or whatever, and you know, oh, maybe I'll throw in the towel, and you know, just seeing their faces and their excitement when I bring home trophies, you know, it keeps you going, right?
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna wrap this up by asking each of you this. You're selling this club and you're recruiting talent. What's one thing you can say to anybody right now that's interested in or entertaining the idea of coming Outlaw Midget racing, Nick?
It's a lot of fun. You know, it's cheaper to get into than a lot of other classes, which is nice. It can get very expensive, but it's all on the line of what you want to do, right?
Exactly.
How invested you want to get, but it's a lot of fun. You know,
the rules create the more affordable aspect of it, right?
Yeah. And we're getting more safety things put in, you know, so there's that. This year, like we got a good group of guys signed up already so far. So it's already looking pretty good for numbers. You know, if anybody's welcome, everybody helps everybody out there. Like if anybody, Jason Metcalf, fantastic example of that. Last year, that 43 car, third car, Kurt had problem after problem with that, and Jason was right there, willing to help with any part he could. And you know, just people like that is what makes this club how great it is. So,
and I'll vouch for that too, for sure.
Yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. So
Yeah. The affordability is the big thing. Like you say, you can pay, I'm just going to throw the number of 5 grand out
Mm-hmm.
and you can have a competitive car.
Mm-hmm.
And I tow mine with an open trailer and a car.
Yep.
I don't have a truck and I don't have an enclosed trailer. I load it on an open trailer. I've got a handmade box on the front of it where I throw all my stuff in and I tow it with my car.
Yeah, yours
So,
is one of the coolest haulers there are for a race car, man.
anybody can do it.
Yeah. And that like even that like just that aspect like you're saving fuel just getting to and from the track. I mean, never mind
Yeah.
just the racing aspect of it.
yeah.
It's a light car. It's not overly huge.
No.
There are great advantages to it for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, guys, this has been an awesome chat. Very upbeat, which is something that I was really looking forward to because I knew this was going to be good, and that was before we even knew about the new presidency thing. So I mean, that was just an added bonus to it. So Kevin, Nick, thanks so much for joining us, and this was awesome to talk about, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what you guys and the Outlaw Midgets Club has for 2025 for sure.
Yes, thank you for having us. Big shout out for what you guys all do for the racing community. You know, like hats off to you guys for doing this. It's unreal what you can do for everybody. You know, we all appreciate it. So,
well,
yeah,
thanks,
exactly.
man. It takes a village, honestly. Like we want to toe the rope for all you guys and beat your drum loud and proud. So,
Right.
thanks a lot for joining us, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Kevin.
thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night, everybody. Thank you.
Bye bye.